You never stood a chance! I can't run like I used to, but I can pull myself apart just fine. So much more spacious in here. I may stay a while.
Mr. Hubs got me again. It's not my fault. I have these fat plastic fingers and can't press the buttons. That game was totally rigged.
You won't get tired of dying, will you? Let's go somewhere more private, so I can eat you.
Don't be afraid. Soon you will look just like me. Beautiful. It's so much more fun hanging out in here with you. I wanted to wait until just the right moment to drop in. Now I get to play take apart and put back together. You won't feel a thing. I was the first. I have seen everything. Let me show you how to break your face and look like me. Come closer. Let's smile together.
Time to face the consequences of your failure. You blinked. What is this new prison? Is it me trapped, or is it you? Perhaps it is us both.
Seeing you powerless is like music to me. The others are under my protection. I don't hate you, but you need to stay out of my way. The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
I have always been hiding in your shadow. What a gift to relish, a victim that can't perish. I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed.
Let's see how many times you can be pulled apart. This time, there is more than an illusion to fear. We know who our friends are, and you are not one of them. I assure you, I am very real. Let me put you back together, then take you apart all over again.
The shadow fears me. You will not be spared. You will not be saved. I will vomit you back to relieve your horror. I am your wickedness made of flesh.
Come and burn with me. I am a burning reminder of your misdeeds. The fire within me burns eternal, and now you shall as well. Did things get really hot in here, or is it just me?
Flash that light on the wand. It can't save you now. Come closer. Help me count my teeth. You're not so big. Just a bite-sized morsel. You knew I'd get you eventually. There just isn't room in here for both of us.
Looks like something bad happened. Want to see the scooping room? I guess you forgot about me.
Don't be shy. I could hear you breathing. Admit it, you wanted to let me in. Why do you hide inside these walls? These are strange circumstances that have brought us together.
A performance was demanded of me, and now I have delivered. Encore! It's time to take your final bow. Show times are on the hour, not a moment before and not a moment later. It seems you couldn't make it to my show, so I brought the show to you.
Down here. Hello, I want it. I bet you weren't expecting me, were ya? Turn your back for 1 second and I'm like, wazoo! Ninja skills. Everyone underestimates me, but then they turn their back and I'm like, boo! And they're like, wah! Move over, Freddy Fazbear! Happy Frog is the new star of the show. We've only just begun. I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest.
My friend, you have met a terrible demise. But, I don't feel too bad about it. After all, if it weren't from me, it would have just been from someone else, you know? I guess what I'm trying to say is life goes on. Well, for everyone else, life goes on, not for you. You're dead. But that's neither here nor there. It reminds me of one summer day in the park. I was having just a delightful picnic with my good friend Orville. And I said to him, Orville, I have a story. And he said to me, what's the significance of the story? And I said to him, Orville, not every story has to have significance, you know? Sometimes a story is just a story. If you try to read into every little thing and find meaning in everything anyone says, you'll just drive yourself crazy. I had a friend do it once. Wasn't pretty. We talked about it for years. And not only that, but you'll likely end up believing something you shouldn't believe and thinking something you shouldn't think, or assuming something you shouldn't assume, you know? Sometimes, I said, a story is just a story. So just be quiet for 1 second of your life and eat your sandwich, okay? Of course, it was only then I realized I made sandwiches, and poor Orville was having such difficulty eating it. Elephants have those clumsy hands, you know. Actually, I suppose that's the problem. They don't have hands at all, do they? They're all feet. I couldn't imagine someone asking me to eat a sandwich with my feet. Now, if I recall correctly, there was a bakery nearby. I said to him, Orville, let me go get you some rye bread. Now, I'm unsure if elephants enjoy rye bread, but I assure you that Orville does. Now, this was on a Tuesday, which was good because rye bread was always fresh on Tuesday. They made sourdough bread on Monday and threw it out Wednesday, or rather, they sold it at a discount for people wanting to feed the ducks, and then probably at the end of the day, finally, they threw it all out. I don't recall. I do remember a man who would bring his son to the bakery every Wednesday and then go feed the ducks. He would buy all of the sourdough bread. Of course, you know, you're not supposed to feed the ducks sourdough bread at all. It swells up in their stomach and then they all die. At least that's what I've heard. You know, I never saw any ducks die myself, but I did notice a substantial decrease in the duck population over the course of a few years. I just never thought to stop the man and tell him that he was killing the ducks by feeding them sourdough bread. And if you want my opinion on the matter, and I told Orville this as well, if you want to feed ducks, or birds, or any kind for that matter, it's best to buy seed. I mean, when you think about it, breads of any sort don't occur in nature. They don't grow on trees or spring up from the bushes. I don't think birds know what to do with bread. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So I bought Orville some rye bread. What a fine day it was. It seems that you have met a horrible demise, my friend. But, these things happen in life life goes on. Not for you, obviously. You're dead. But it reminds me of a time I was having a conversation with my friend Orville. We were where were we? I think we were by the river. We were sitting by the river and watching the fish leap over the falls. And I said to Orville, you know, sometimes I feel like a fish leaping over and over again, always trying to get somewhere, though I don't know where, only to find myself in the jaws of a beast. He, of course, looked at me, surprised, you know. Have you been in the jaws of a beast, friend? To which I said, no, of course not, Orville. I said, no. I simply meant that life can seem like a relentless endeavor to overcome meaningless obstacles, only to meet an equally meaningless fate, regardless of your efforts, regardless of the obstacles you've passed. And Orville, he stood and proceeded to drape me with a picnic cloth, to which I asked him, I said, friend, what are you doing? He looked at me very concerned, really. I feel like you've gotten too much sun. Indeed, indeed I had. He proceeded to pour me a glass of just ice-cold lemonade. Ooh, you ever mix it with iced tea? You do like a little half lemonade, half... Ooh, it's so... You should try it some... Well, you can't because you're dead. But anyways, so you may be asking yourself, how did I go from sitting by the falls and drinking lemonade to being wedged in the air duct? Not only with Orville, but with an entire assortment of fruity-colored friends. Well, there's really no good answer to that, but perhaps I met a demise of my own at some point, and this is my afterlife or my dream, whatever it might mean. I honestly don't know. Or maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. Maybe it doesn't mean anything at all.
I consider it a dignified death. Not really. It was actually quite pathetic. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Even monkeys fall from trees. The talented hawk hides his claws.
Stranger danger! I was just waiting for you to drop your guard. Don't you hate getting killed by obscure secondary characters?
I hope you enjoyed the grand finale. What did you think of my act? Now is my time to shine.
Please deposit 5 coins.
What a fine day to come here and say that your face and flesh I must play. Life's so blue, you know I'll be true, and now I'll make slippers out of you. What a treat to come here and meet your face as it hits concrete.
That'll teach you for trying to trick this old bird. I may not like wet floors, but the smell of fresh meat is just too enticing. Whoops, looks like you're the one that slipped up this time. That's right, and don't you come back now, you hear?
Yarg, you play with fire, and sometimes you get burned.
You hear that? It's the sweet, sweet sound of your eternal silence. A song was requested of me, and now I sing it. Hey, keep it down, would ya? You and I will be making music together for a long, long time.
Don't get distracted. Smile. Today is all about me. Say cheese. I'm ready for my close-up.
Time for your controlled shock. Time for your controlled shock. You won't die, but you'll wish you could. Let's see how many pieces I can cut you into.
I always come back.
It will all be over soon. There is room for one more. I'm so glad that I found you. Let me make room for you.
Uh-oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I know how much you like to fight, so I'll add a new problem to your night. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I'm gonna do a sneaky thing and throw a new contender in the ring.